And we are live. Hello, hello, and welcome to Scribes and Friends episode something. 4. It says that on my screen. I don't remember at this point. It's been a busy week, people. Anyway, today we are here with two very cool epic fantasy authors. We have Lorraine L.M. Douglas, who is a noted haggis enthusiast. She is actually the Queen of Scotland and is currently wearing a kilt. Lorraine, hello.
Underneath this.
And then we also have Kylie. Is it Aagard? How do you say your last name?
In America, it's Aagard. In the country originated from, it's Aagard, I think is what it is. So
okay, I would say Aagard. So Aagard, Kylie Aagard, who is shockingly, I'm really disappointed because I was pretty sure she was indeed 3 cats in a trench coat. And no, she's just a person.
No.
Sorry, guys. I know.
I am servant of cats. That is it.
So basically what we're hearing is that 3 cats in a trench coat boss you around.
Pretty much, yeah.
That works. Looks like Vivian is here in the chat. Hi, Vivian.
Hi, Vivian.
Hello.
And Bella is also here in the chat. Hi, Bella. So what we're going to do to start off, I'm going to give you guys each a chance to talk about yourselves, talk about what you have written, talk about anything about, your books. Pitch them to us. Lorraine, go first.
I feel like I've done this so many times. So I'm the author of The Guardian, I can't even speak. Gharantia's Guardian, my first book in the series, and also, as Dave's showing as well, Gharantia's Fury. And my world is the Chronicles of the Endless War. Actually, I don't have a name for my world yet. That's something I'm going to have to think about. But it's a world designed by Mist and Time, the gods, and they've been ruling it for a very long time. But we see the story starts in Gharantia, where they just realize that there's a whole gods war thing going on, and none of the rulers there have had a clue about that. So I'm first book's really about learning about the magic system and learning about the characters, and the story kind of plot, and sexy snake lady is revealed at some point. You have to keep reading to find out all the ins and outs and all the little secrets. And then by the end of the first book, you're kind of going, oh, okay, there's more to this story. There's more to these characters. And the second book basically starts off where the first book leaves off. But it's, as you can tell by the cover, there's a lot more fire and magic and, just awesomeness. And I've had some really great comments about the second book recently as well from a few of my pub regulars who have been finishing off the second book and saying, oh my God, it's amazing, it's great. So that's just been, my ego has been woo.
That's awesome.
That's great.
And before we move to you, Kylie, we've also got Christopher in the chat.
Hey, Chris.
Hi, everyone. Rowdy Player 1 is here. I'm going to do this in Rowdy's voice. Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing today? That was not a good Tennessee voice. I'm sorry, Rowdy. I sounded too Texas. Tim McKay is here with his beard. Ariana is here. Ariana is desperately trying to send Kay money. I do want you to know, Ariana, my name is actually Kay Lawson. So if you'd like to send me some money, this was me. My idea for the name of your world, Lorraine.
Oh, no. It's not going to be sexy.
The other option is Sexy Snakelandia.
No.
And then, I can't say this name, but they are here. Welcome.
Hello.
Have you read Mark Twain? I'm reading for school. I have read Mark Twain, yes.
I think we have one of his books, but I've not read it. I'm slowly going through all the classics. I'm
Huckleberry
currently.
Finn's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, I think that's one of my dad's favorites. I think that's the one that we have. He read that as a kid.
He has a very scandalous book called Letters from the Earth that is basically about Lucifer after he's been sent down from heaven not for like actually doing like trying to take over, but just like disagreeing, and he gets sent down. And he is on the earth and he's just watching the people and being like, God, these people are idiots. So that is I read that one in college. It's a lot of fun. So before we see the rest of the people that are in the chat, go ahead and Kylie, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I am Kylie. I am the author of the Hunter of Far Eldon series. If you can see this, maybe. Yeah, this one. He's got the lovely googly eye edition. Basically, this story actually starts kind of where most story arcs end for this character. Strider's the main character. He's actually gotten his revenge already, and he doesn't really know. He has no purpose. He doesn't really consider sticking around. He's mortally injured, and he's seriously contemplating just letting the injury take him until the wolf on the cover, Greer, basically convinces him to stay. And the real inciting incident is when a young girl actually ends up trying to steal his sword, and Greer kind of sensing that she needs help as well. And Strider is kind of in this very fragile state of, do I stay? Do I go? He kind of latches on to her and convinces Strider to help her get home. And the story is them trying to get her back home. Well, people who had kidnapped her, they're trying to catch her, and they're both very much butting heads with one another. They're from very different worlds. Addie's grown in a gilded bubble. He's very much of the world and seen all the darkness and everything that it has. And a lot of banter, a lot of butting heads with one another, trying to figure out one another as they slowly actually develop kind of a mentor-apprentice relationship and almost even a found family as they are going through and facing the dangers as they get her home and hopefully protect her family as well. So,
all right.
Yeah, very character-driven.
And I loved it. It was great.
I have not read it yet, but I do own 2 copies of it, and I apparently need to get a third to shoot arrows at. So
yeah, I'm also going to be sending like copies to my friend as well, who he makes bows, and he's like, well, I'm going to be making a 50-pound bow. I've got a 70, and I think he said he had a 60-pound. I can't remember. He has another one in between, and he's like, I will happily shoot your book. So yes, I will be sending you guys books to shoot.
Yes, Vivian, I am sly. That's my whole personality. Ariana, I skipped that day in high school. Sorry. Andres is here.
Hello.
Vivian adores Mark Twain. Ariana says googly eyes.
Yes, the googly eyes.
Rowdy Player One. I can't do the voice. Sorry, Rowdy. The Hunter was so great.
Thank you.
Greer is life.
Yes,
Greer.
I am learning to sew a stuffed animal just so I can make myself a Greer, because I must have one to hug.
I'll hype the Hunter till the end of days. Greer is love, Greer is life, all the googly eyes.
One of the things that I thought was great was when I messaged you after I'd read The Hunter, and you were saying, I wasn't even really going to write this. Like you'd kind of written a bit of it and then went, and it was Greer. I think you said Greer's character kind of drove you on to keep going with it. I think that's fascinating, because usually it would be a human or two-legged, or but Greer was the one that kind of drove you on to keep writing it.
Yes, thank Greer. Without him, the book would not exist.
So before we move on, Ariana has a question in the chat that we are definitely going to get to in just a moment. Wait, where is the thing? Oh, sorry guys, I'll be right back. Excuse me. I have to do, there is, so one of the things about when you come on Scribes and Friends, Dave has to talk about his book for a second before we do the real
This
stuff.
one. Yes.
So we've got the sword. So
got the
this
book.
sword is not quite as good as Meralda in my book, but I am the author of The Envoys of War, which, yes, I was influenced by what Kylie did with her googly eyes. I had made a mustache cover for like the Indie Fantasy Addicts Facebook group. They had like a Movember challenge thing, and a few people were like, "I'd buy that book," and so I was like, "I mean, sure, I'll make a limited edition as like a joke." And then there were people like, "I need it." So there are mustache books out in the world. I actually got more of them yesterday, so I can send out the rest of the ones that have been ordered. But my book is banter, schemes, plans. I kind of talk about it as sort of like The Lies of Locke Lamora, but not as dark and maybe a little bit happier. Kings of the Wild, which is one of my favorites. Michael J. Sullivan style books. Just a lot of banter and witty stuff and so much wine. It actually fits in with Lorraine's entire personality if you look behind her. Vivian has read my book. She's my hype squad, along with Lorraine. Lorraine has read my book, but she hates me, so it's okay.
I hate you.
But anyway, yes, that is my book. There is a lot of wine. I was laughing at
Ariana's comment. Like, I'm loving the background, Steve. Books, Kylie, books, Lorraine, alcohol.
She is Scottish, Ariana.
I also have sword wherever it went. I think you can see it vaguely. Sword.
So getting on to the real stuff of the interview. Why a wolf and not a baller cat? Do you secretly hate cats, Kylie?
My brother actually thinks I secretly hate horses since they're technically the animal that dies the most in the book. But no, I do not hate cats. I am governed by cats. Book 3, you will see a cat who is actually, he's the ship's cat. There's actually lore that if a cat leaves your ship, the entire crew basically will threaten to mutiny because that ship's not leaving port. It's considered bad luck if the cat abandons the ship. They're good luck. And there's a cat in book 3. He's a very fluffy orange cat in honor of my late cat, who they jokingly call him. He's the captain technically of the ship. They consider him the ruler of the ship.
Right,
but
so,
Greer is definitely life, though.
I have not read The Hunter yet, but I have it. So on the cover, that is a horse.
Mm-hmm. That's Copper.
For some reason, I don't think I noticed the face, and I thought it was like some kind of horse beast that didn't have a face. Like a big hairy mount with no horse face. So I didn't know what those were called. I'm looking at it again closer now, and I actually see the horse's face. I'm just not very smart. So I have wolves in my books. You have wolves in your books, and they're both like special wolves. Lorraine, when are you going to put special wolves in your books?
Special wolf? Oh, wait a minute. I do have an idea somewhere. I can't remember where it is, but there will be wolves in my books when some characters travel to a different place.
So but can people ride your wolves?
I haven't really thought about the wolves yet, so there's a possibility. I don't know. Possibility. I'm just going to see what
ride your wolves.
Actual wolves, no, but the Dihorvith, yes. The Ravok actually have a huge relationship with their wolves. It's actually the wolves are more taken. The Dihorvith are more cared for than the Ravok. So you'll see their creatures; they will be decked out, and then the Ravok is just wearing furs and lives in a hut. But their Dihorvith is they are basically worshipped by their culture, and Greer is, part Dihorvith, so he's going to be really big. But then normal wolves are just normal wolves, and they're kind of feared by people, particularly light-colored ones, due to the way the genetics and everything works for them. So,
in my books, there are like magically enhanced animals that can get like bigger and stronger, etc. And one of the groups of people have what's called wolven, which are giant enhanced wolves that they ride like horses. And they're adorable and cute, and dogs are the best. So, Lorraine, what is better, dogs or cats? Go.
Cats.
Okay, she's kicked out of the live. Kylie, what's better, dogs or cats?
I honestly like them both. Like each one, like it's funny since I live with both. It's funny to see how they have similarities and differences. In terms of like my lifestyle, I'm better suited to take care of cats just because with my health, I can't keep up with a dog. But I actually like them both. So
dogs are adorable.
They are very cute.
Wonderful, and cats are cute too.
Well, I grew up with Siamese cats, and they're very distinct, like distinction. I'm tired tonight, by the way. Distinctive. And then I had my own Persian cat at one point, and she was really hard work because they're very fluffy. And you have to deal with the fluff sometimes.
Oh yes.
It's pretty hard work. So, but yeah, cats are forever.
I have my brother has a husky, so I joke that she's just a really large cat, just the way she behaves. So she also does come to kitty when I call her, so it's pretty funny.
Dogs are indeed my favorite, but we can accept that cats are cool too, I guess. Ariana, please still read my book, even though I said dogs were better. I'm sorry. My wife sent me a text because she said that I'm also going to be having enhanced lizards with wings in my books in the future, because her entire goal in life is to make me have dragons in my books. I said no dragons, and she's like, they're not dragons, they're just enhanced winged lizards. So she texted me from the other room that winged lizards are coming.
And my books do have dragons, but usually they're just mentioned. So
the next question for both of you is, what are you guys working on now?
You go.
Like, I don't know who to go. I'm working on book 2, The Debt. It is almost done. Hopefully end of 2020 or end of next year. It will be officially released. And then I also have a little side novel that I've been working on in between. So it's my break from writing. I get to write something else, I guess.
Is that related to?
No. It's more like a creepy, cozy, in a completely different world that follows a boy and a monster that he gets sacrificed to, technically. So, so it's fun. I've been enjoying it.
I do want to say right now, Andres is boarding a plane to Utah to find you and burn all other projects.
Yes.
So that only Hunter 2 can be written.
If you said it was ready to read now, he would be like, yep, send it to me.
He volunteered to be a beta reader, so he will get to witness the complete chaos the book is before it goes through like even more editing. So
you're working on the Hunter 2 and only the Hunter 2 and absolutely no creepy cozy stories. And then Lorraine, what are you working on?
So for the whole of this January, I was working on another project, which was Cawthorborn, which will be a standalone within my world. And it will be a little bit more spicier than my Fade to Black series, but it is still in the same world. And I just had a little change up because I write in third person normally. And I thought, well, I'll just try and have a little play about and write in first person, so that's very much her voice. The main character is called Carmel, and she is a Cawthor, which is basically a lizard. Funnily enough, a flying lizard. But her master.
My wife's already reading it. She's buying it right now.
Great. But she is transformed into the human form. So she's transformed into a female form, but she's still a Cawthor. So it's quite interesting because when people look at her, they think she's human, but she isn't. So she's having to learn how to be human. And there's a whole. I won't go into it, but that's the character. But of course, I'm trying to get back into writing book 3, which is what I've been doing in this February and what I'll be doing in March. So book 3, plug. Book 3's coming soon.
And it's called Gharantia's Snake Lady, right?
No, Gharantia's Fate.
I think I like my title better.
There's a lot of people love the sexy snake lady. Yeah.
I haven't read it yet. Eventually, I will encounter her.
All types of chaos, which I translated to mean, "I'm coming for you, Kylie. Hunter or nothing."
I promise the Hunter will be out before that little side novel. So.
Christopher says this is where the chaos from the Order has come this afternoon.
Yeah.
The Art of the Standalones needs to come back.
Although the thing is, like, I've already decided that it might not just be a standalone. It might be 2 books, but it'll be, you can read one and you don't have to read the other one. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lorraine, Andres is now boarding a plane to Scotland.
Oh my God. I'm hoping September for book 3. I really am, because they've been pretty much a whole year to kind of get, first one was November, second one was last September. So the aim is.
Bella is on a ferry headed to Scotland currently. She has Andres is correct. Palomina, the sexy snake lady, deserves all the love. She is the best.
She gets quite a lot of her point of view in the book 3. And you also get Velardis's point of view in book 3. So nasty Queen Velardis, you get to see a little bit more of her, which I'm excited about, to see what people think about her, like what she thinks, basically.
She's evil. We hate her. She's evil and we hate her. And hopefully she dies. That's my thought on Queen Velardis. Vivian, yes, chaos. Chaos is my entire personality. So, of course, live streams that I host are going to be chaos. That's what I do. We have lots of riots happening. Andres is telling you, Kylie, that you can make the Hunter a duology, and he's okay with that.
Yeah, the Hunter series is like a 10-book series, and then there's like too many spin-offs in my brain that we'll see if they ever get written.
Christopher is also traveling to Scotland with a pitchfork. Andres agrees with me. Velardis should die. Christopher's wrong.
Well, Christopher.
I've only read book 1. Lorraine has said that she thinks, I think that Velardis has a little bit of a redemption arc. Maybe as the books go on. She's told me that I have not
he's
gotten
not as
there.
evil as you might think, maybe. Woo.
Shane says only 10 books. Andres apparently doesn't want you to write any more books ever, Lorraine. You're done.
Stop making them up.
Gharantia's duology now.
Stop making things up.
So 10 books to me is insane because I'm like, I've written 1 book.
No.
And I've got a novella that I've written that's now like in betas, and then it'll be edited. And then I've got to write book 2. And I'm burnt out a little bit from like, I wrote book 1 and like, it's all I did for several months. And like, I guess my thought is like, yeah, there'll at least be a second book. And there'll probably be a 3rd book and maybe a 4th book, but like they're all kind of standalone-ish. Like the story of book 1 ends and there's like a little bit of a lead into book 2, but it's not like you have to have book 2 to like finish the story of book 1, because it's mostly and that's so it's like episodes within the characters' lives and not like it ends on a big cliffhanger, Lorraine, and then you have to read the next book to know what happens in the next book, Lorraine.
I'd just like to give you the whole, God damn it, I'm just going to have to read the next book.
To answer the question about the J.R.R. Martin, no, I'm not going to pull that. The entire series is actually already completely planned out. So I know how everything is going to end, what leads up to it. So,
does that make you? Is there bits that you've left open that you can change? Then it's not just totally fixed.
Yeah, so basically I kind of call it like laying down the skeleton or laying down the sketch, and then when I go and I write, I'm adding the muscle and everything else to it, like it's fully fleshed out. So like for instance, I had plans of certain things happening in book 3, but Addie's mom decided that that's happening now in book 2. So that's how that worked, but I still know how it starts, the end, and then like keystones and key points on the map that I want to reach. So
I always find it fascinating.
Ariana,
sorry.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to ask.
I find it fascinating how, because obviously I'm planning to write a long series as well, so I maybe not planned as far, but I've kind of got an ending and bits in between, but not really much. There's a lot of gaps.
So
yeah,
Ariana's
I just find it
question is,
helps.
who out of your main characters would win in a fight, and who would be the one filming the fight for TikTok? So we'll let Kylie do. I guess you only have 2 characters, really.
Yeah, I mean, technically Greer is a character, and honestly, I would probably bet on him the most because, but he would.
TikTok?
Oh, filming a TikTok? Yeah, Greer would totally film it. He'd be the one just standing there filming everything. Unfortunately, I don't know the 2, like, in a fight between my characters or your guys' characters. I've unfortunately not met them yet. But out of the 3, if it were my 3 characters fighting one another, honestly, Greer would actually win. Just knowing what he actually has and is able to do. And then also, Strider would not be able to win against him. He's wrapped around that wolf's paw, like.
Yes, the question is like between our different main characters.
Our different main characters. I don't know.
Greer and Strider. So Strider is a good fighter. But he's older and he's mortally wounded, you said?
At the very beginning he is. He isn't like for the majority of the book he healed himself at the beginning. I mean, I guess in the book he does something else that causes a lot of problems for himself. But if he's in his prime, like not injured and doing everything to put himself in an early grave, I don't know who would win.
So my characters, Jen is a big badass swordswoman. She's like 6'5", carries a great sword, and she loves 4 things: friends, wine, her sword, and animals. Where she would absolutely lose to Greer because she would just want to pet him.
Greer would totally accept that.
Gordon, my other main character, is a wimp who just tries to talk himself out of all the situations. So he would be the one filming the TikTok, definitely. And I feel like of my characters, Jen might be able to beat some of the other main characters in like a straight sword fight, but neither of my main characters have magic or anything like that. And I know Lorraine's Melaine has magic and could probably beat both of my characters pretty easily with that magic.
I mean, that's her on the cover of this, so she's quite powerful. But I think my character would beat anybody would be Palomina, because she would turn herself into Pally, which is the snake side. So she basically changes and she becomes a snake. So depending on what size the room, she could actually be huge. So even if she was in the open air, she could just tower above everybody. So she's pretty badass.
Strider, he uses magic and swords and bows. That's his main skills. So he has the benefit of he was once an assassin, and then he got trained by the Rangers, who specialize in fight. Usually, they end up fighting a lot of magical beasts, honestly. But I mean, he's a grumpy dude that's just done with everything. Just convincing him to. You'd first need to convince him that it's even worth his time to fight.
My wife is once again disagreeing with me because she says Jen kills an animal in the book at the beginning, but that's a spider, and I said it's not cute and furry like a wolf.
Yes, those puppy dog eyes are just too
And
powerful.
her response is it might be furry. So, so basically, yes. Welcome to my home life, where I do things and I am by someone who is correct most of the time. All right, our next question. This is always one that I enjoy asking because I love funny characters, but I also write a lot of funny characters. Who is your funniest character?
I think it would really depend on the person who's reading it, honestly. Like, I have a friend who thinks Addie is the funniest. Others think Greer is really the funniest. And then we got some that like Strider. So, personally, I think Greer is the funniest just because he's the goofy dog. And I greatly enjoy his antics.
All right. And Lorraine, who do you think?
Yeah, I remember you did ask me this before.
I think I asked you this one before. But...
Yeah, I said, I probably said, I think I said Silva. So I've got the innkeepers, Bolivar and, did I say that? I can't remember. Bolivar and Silva. So they're like a bit, like they're very, like she's very mothering. Oh God, I'm so tired. Mothering. There we go. And she is like very big, broad, and you know she's the like not like me because I run a pub, but she runs the tavern, and she tells people what's what, but she's got this other soft side to her as well, and I just think that she's quite cool. Yeah. Silva's like,
so of course she picks that to be her funniest character. She's like, oh, funniest character, probably the one that's me in the book.
Well, it's funny because I had to like shout at some guys in the pub the other night to tell them off for their behavior, and I became Silva. Literally. And they left, so it worked.
My funniest character is definitely Corden. Corden is my favorite. Some people have said he's my self-insert character because I think we have a similar sense of humor. The funniest thing about this is that when my wife read the book, she basically said that she thought Corden was annoying. And I said, we have the same sense of humor. And she was like, I know. So basically, Corden is incredibly witty and pretty convinced that he's really, really witty as well. So like, you know, maybe slightly arrogant, which I don't think I am. So that's a difference between us. He also has affairs with every woman that he sees, which is not me. But and my other character, Jen, is very funny as well in her own way, but she's a little bit more down to earth, and her humor is more like, you broke my wine bottle, but where's the wine? Things along those lines. Or calling all of the animals she meets Francois, because that's just the best name for a pet. Let's see. What is a fantasy or sci-fi series that you think kind of maybe gave you some inspiration to one day become a writer? Like book that you read that kind of inspired you?
I think probably the first book that got me into really reading would be the Septimus Heap series. And I think that's where my love of that started. I mean, I was always writing stories when I was tiny because my dad would always tell us bedtime stories, and he would make up stories. And I think that's maybe where the storytelling started. But then when it finally clicked that, oh, I could actually write something, was when I found that book series. And then in terms of like maybe a big inspiration. Like I also ended up finding like the Ranger's Apprentice series, which if people have read that, they'll probably see some similarities between my book and that. Because I absolutely loved that series as a kid. I just devoured it. And then, yeah, so very much the worlds of magic got their hold on me very quickly. So that would be there.
All right. And let's see. Vivian says, yeah, those are great characters, great stories. Lorraine, what are you thinking?
So yeah, I think like you, my dad actually, that reminded me, my dad used to do the storytelling. He was big into amateur dramatics when I was growing up. So he's very flamboyant and would like, you know, make lots of things up, which I loved. You know, we could look in a picture and go, "Hey, look at this animal," and blah blah blah. And like, you know, as a little kid, you'd be like, "Oh my god, finish the story, Dad!" He's just going on and on. And I think having people like that to give you that kind of, "Oh, I can do that too." So I think I did write a lot of stories and things at a young age as well. But later on, obviously, you grow up and you do other things. But later on, it was sort of COVID time or just before COVID when I started reading Philip Quantrell's series, so the Echo Saga, and I've kind of basically said that he was the main spark for me. That yeah, exactly. But yeah, he was the inspiration, because in the back of his books, I didn't realize he was an indie author. And when I read his thing about I'm a nurse and la la la, and I thought, oh wow, that's like he's done this in this book. And I think I'd heard about indie authors before, but I hadn't really even considered that things that I was reading could be indie authors. I didn't think indie authors could be that good. So it was a real awakening, and I think it just kind of spurred me on to kind of get on and follow my dream and do what I wanted to do. So thanks, Philip.
I would agree. Like, I don't know that I really knew that. Like I'd read some indie books because I'd read some like Kindle Unlimited books that were, looking back, probably not traditionally published. But I had no idea that that was like, you know, that there was this entire community of like indie authors and everything like that. I'd written stuff. I'd self-published a novella in like 2018, but I never joined any kind of communities, never really tried to do anything with it. Just like it was my master's thesis from my master's in creative writing. And I thought I should put it out there and just be done with it so that it's out there and I've done the thing. And then basically last year I decided to write another book and found this whole community, and it's been awesome. So
yeah,
there are a lot of great people.
The thing about when you're kind of sitting thinking, I'm going to write this book and I'm going to do this, and from where I was 2 years ago, you know, at the beginning, or more than 2 years ago, and to now is, oh my God, it's so much fun. And the people that like we communicate with and chat with, and the readers that we're getting, it's just a completely different life. It's so much fun. No, I'm Asher's missus.
Who is Asher?
Asher is the character in Philip Quantrell's. He's the assassin. He's the main dude. He's great. He's just a mean, moody old grumpy man.
I think I have The Rise of the Ranger. Is that the name of the first book?
Yeah.
I think I have that audiobook, but I haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah. You should. You really should. I totally recommend it. But it is
so
9
Ariana
and there's
Vivian
a lot of
both want to see my master's thesis. Sorry, I unpublished it. I did write a lot of short stories also back in the day, including one that was basically a like a train spotting inspired one. So yeah, like it was very different from the kind of stuff that I'm writing now. So what were you saying, Lorraine? Sorry.
I can't remember. Oh, Asher. Yeah, Asher's he's a grumpy old man. He's the assassin, and he you follow his story all the way through, but it is a 9-book series, and there's a few prequel books as well now, and now Philip's writing his 5 books, his dragon books, and I'm tired. Sorry, I can't remember the names because after 10. So
Andres is calling you old, Lorraine.
I am old. I just had a big birthday not that long ago, so
You turned 35.
Yeah, 21. Yeah. I've got my hot chocolate. It's like
I should have grabbed some. That would have been wonderful.
Here's a question from Ariana. By the way, also in the chat, if you have questions you want to ask to any of these awesome people, throw them in the chat. The more chaotic, the better. I was telling them before we started, I did not do a very good job of like actually preparing. So I didn't really write up a bunch of questions for this live. So any questions you have, throw them in the chat, and we will put them on the hot seat. So first question from Ariana: what genres would you like to branch into if you moved out of pure sci-fi and fantasy?
Oh, maybe more paranormal for me. I really enjoy, you'll probably figure that out in book 3. I really enjoy creepy atmospheres and things like that, and scary monsters and just the paranormal type stuff. I probably would go into that. Maybe try my hand at a romance. It would probably be crap, but I would try it anyways.
Oh gosh.
Lorraine, what about you?
I kind of think that I want to do something a little bit more based in Scotland, like a kind of Scottish kind of, it could be a paranormal kind of ghosty type thing. Obviously Edinburgh's full of ghost stories and historical things. I'm sure I can come up. I did have a slight idea once about something, but I'm not going to say anything just in case I don't write it. But yeah, I've had but I'm trying to block that out my head because I'm trying to write what I'm writing. So it's quite hard to, yeah, maybe later something in Scotland kind of thing.
Yeah, I actually ended up, because I have so many books that I want to write, I sat down before I actually started writing The Hunter, and I just basically wrote down all the book ideas, and then I sorted them between which ones do I want to do the most, and then it kind of became a tier list. So now I kind of go by that. When I finish this one, I'll jump to this one, and then so on and so forth, and that makes my brain happy, apparently. And I just add new books to it at the bottom when those ideas come. That's what I do.
That's so organized. I can't believe it.
It's like if I didn't get on page, my brain probably would have exploded by now, because it's like I must focus on everything.
I think my brain's already exploded.
I think if I decided to do write something outside of sci-fi and fantasy, it would probably be like I've written some little spoofy things like this before, but basically a like Regency romantic comedy type thing, because there's something about like a Regency romance. They're kind of fun, but often they need a little bit more, like they need to be a little bit snarkier. So like a snarky
you'd have to have a bandy in it, wouldn't you? You'd have to have a cordon type.
I mean, obviously, like rakes and scoundrels are the best characters. There is no I love a rake. I love
the character that's like jumping out somebody's window because the husband's walking in the room.
Well, yeah. If one is not defenestrated by a husband every now and then, what are they even doing? We've got this question that I apparently missed earlier. I think I saw it and we were in the middle of a conversation, and I thought, I'll go back to that. And then I forgot about it. But here we go with Kylie. When did you decide that third-person omniscient would be a cornerstone of your series, and why?
I don't know if I necessarily decided it. It kind of just felt natural. It's just always been kind of the way that I've written. I think it stems from the older books that I would read as a kid. A lot of them were in the third person omniscient, and I just kind of ended up gravitating towards that, and that's how I've just always written. And then when my editor got a hold of my book, they wanted me to switch it to actually third person limited, and I don't know, my brain just could not wrap around the possibility of even doing that. It just, I don't know, it's like me trying to suddenly change gears. It just didn't work. So I don't know. I've just always enjoyed, I guess, just kind of the exploring the emotionality of characters and just being able to jump between those characters within a specific chapter rather than waiting till the next to be able to get into that character's head. I'm a little too impatient for that, I guess, as a writer.
I think you do it really well.
Thank you.
I think I've not really read, I don't think I've really read many books in that style. So once I got into it, I was like, oh, wow, yeah, I liked it.
Thank you.
I've read some, but they're all ones mostly that were written like before 1900. Because I think it was a lot more common with older classics.
Yeah, like The Hobbit. I think my teacher had me read The Hobbit because apparently I could do the Gollum voice really well without realizing it. So she's like, you must read this book now and understand who I'm talking about. So I read that. I think that's probably the first book I really encountered with that. And then it just kind of snowballed from there from other older books. So.
All right. So Christopher asks if the Hunter sequel picks up immediately after book 1 or if there's a time gap.
No, it picks up immediately from the end when you encounter the mysterious figures at the end that came to fetch Strider, and it goes from there, and you get to see what that entails and how that very quickly gets out of control. So,
speaking of out of control, would you rather have sausage fingers or sweat mayonnaise?
Oh.
Would you rather sweat mayonnaise or have fingers of sausage?
I couldn't type with sausage fingers, so I probably picked the mayonnaise, as disgusting as that would be.
Yeah, probably sweat mayonnaise, but I don't know if either would go down well at work or pulling sausage fingers would kind of help.
The sausage fingers grow back if you like eat them.
Oh gosh!
Like the sausages,
you have a brat and then it like grows back later. Like
gosh!
In that case, you've got like if you've got like you never have to go to the grocery store again. You are set. I'm telling you, like I don't really like mayonnaise, so I'm gonna go sausage fingers. We're having brats tonight, people. We actually are having brats tonight, so now I'm going to be thinking about this as I eat brats tonight. Ariana says she wants Selkies.
Oh, yeah.
Andres asks how long. Well, so Andres, look at the name of the series. It's endless. She'll never stop.
Well, there was a start of the war, and I could go back and talk about the start, and you will get bits of the start, but I do kind of feel like this endless war might have an end. So hopefully for these guys, because, it's a shame. they've lived through so much. But yeah, the amount of books, I think I've said about 10 as well, as a rough kind of guide, maybe.
No, Ariana, that was my favorite question of the day because I just, like I said, I love the chaos. So you're invited back to all the streams. Andre says he wants to see the end. Like, this is the second time today that he's told you to stop writing, Lorraine. I don't know. I feel like you might be starting to get a complex. An endless war that has an end. Lorraine's books can be described as
Damn it. Okay, then. The war might still go on, but for me, it will end.
Vivian is also, we're all scolding Andres. Like, we're all flying to, is it Uruguay? I can't remember.
Yeah, Uruguay.
With our pitchforks now to go after. It's what I do, Andres. It's what I do. I am basically Corden Talon from my book series. This is what he does too. Saws Bella.
Oh yeah, because she said she stepped out for 10 minutes and then there was sweat sausages. Yeah, I don't even know what time it is now for me. It's 10 to 11. Oh my God.
All right. Andres wants everyone to show up in Uruguay with pitchforks. All right. Let's see. Were there any other questions in the chat? There were some people saying that they were very happy that you kept things in third person omniscient.
I had a question for.
Oh yes, you have some questions for her. Go for it.
So your character Addie is obviously like a young female, and at the beginning she's obviously noble birth, and she kind of has been in dire circumstances and meets Strider and stuff. But I've I think some people might go, she's really annoying. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? If people go, she's really annoying. What's your comeback?
Thank you, because that's what she was supposed to be. My brother, and it was really funny because we actually played D&D, and Strider is actually my D&D character. And my DM ended up bringing Addie in and putting her in danger. My brother actually is very annoyed by Addie. Like, he's like, I cannot stand her in the books. But then he sees her in this situation because he also plays with us, and he sees her in a situation where she's like probably going to die, and he's like, I did not realize how attached I actually had gotten to her. It made me so upset to see that in this game, and we're trying to save her and we almost didn't. And yeah, on the drive home, he's like, I didn't realize how attached I became to that character, despite how annoying she is.
Was that before you wrote it then? You were getting these ideas?
No. I mean, I was already writing the book, and then I got invited to play D&D, and I'm like, I don't know about coming up with a character. I'm like, well, I have a character here. I'll just use it. I read Ranger in the D&D manual, and I'm just like, oh, perfect. There we go. Which actually has been really good because it throws my character into a situation where encounters I never would have been imagined, or and then I don't have control of the other character, and I have to really think about how would he realistically react to that situation and stuff like that. It's been really fun. I will not deny that some influences now from the campaign may end up going into later books, just as kind of a little homage to that, and a bit of an Easter egg for those that read my book that know me. But yeah, so that's been really fun. But yes, Addie is supposed to be annoying.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I knew that she was annoying for a reason, but I liked it because you could see her development, and I think that's a good thing about how you wrote her, because she is annoying, but she's learning. Yeah. She learns slowly, but
yes, she does. Yeah, and that's really because I'm like, I need a character that's actually going to have, like, Strider. If you read the story, he doesn't have a huge arc. Like, his development, he's already 100 years old. He's kind of set in his ways, being the grouchy dude he is. But then you have Addie, who's come from a very, very spoiled, very privileged situation, and she's got a lot of room to grow. She's very young. She's like 17. And she's not really experienced the world, and she's kind of the reader's person that they get to learn the world through as well, and get to grow with her and stuff like that. So,
all right. So Ariana is asking about the dream cast for your characters.
I actually don't know.
I'm going to turn this around here quickly. My suggestion, can you see her over there? My suggestion for Greer. There she is.
Cute.
Sometimes
she's tired,
like rolling around and talking to me like boring. Right now she's just you put her to sleep, Lorraine. But yes. Dreamcast for your characters.
See, I don't know actors, so
yeah, I'm rubbish with names of actors. But, I have probably, I've forgotten his name, but Henry Cavill. I'd have to have him in my.
I could see him as Criterious.
Yeah, because a lot of people think that the cover is a bit witchery here, which I think that is kind of
Oh,
true.
I can see.
Yeah, it's a bit Witcher type. So I could see grumpy Henry Cavill being down on his millions.
We're writers, Ariana. We don't watch movies. I mean, actually, I almost never watch TV or movies anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Unfortunately.
TV. I love. I'm really into. There's a new series called 1,000. Was it 1,000? Oh, I've forgotten the name. See, I'm just so tired. It's 1,000. Oh, forget it. It's really good. Earlier, but yeah, I really love like all the Netflix stuff and Yellowstone and Peaky Blinders and all that kind of stuff. Love all that.
I just like, if I'm thinking about actors for mine, all of my thoughts go back to older actors, because in college I was a film studies minor, but I studied like 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s movies, especially like screwball comedies was my main thing that I studied. And like, I've seen modern movies, but I don't really think about like, I don't watch enough modern movies to know all of the actors. So there's a bunch of new actors that I don't know much about, but I think Henry Cavill could be good as Criterious.
Yes. This one is the one that I'm talking about is 1,000 Blows. I've just had to Google it because it was doing my head in. And Stephen Graham, you know, the Liverpudlian actor. I don't know if you know him. He's amazing. I'd have to have him in my book. I could see him as somebody in my book as well.
I don't know. So if people have suggestions, throw them at me, because honestly, I don't think about it. In terms of like the book series, my brain for some reason goes into like the more animated versions, and I still wouldn't be able to tell you a voice actor or anything. So, but yeah, suggestions are welcome.
There we go. Writer is The Rock, which means that Greer is Kevin Hart. It's the way of the world. It's how things have to be. Let's see. What is an indie book that you have read in the last bit of time that you really like, that you'd like to shout out to the world, and just sort of, you know, that you feel like more people should say?
Oh goodness, there's so many. Do we have to pick one? Let's see. I love like the Necromancer of called Gam Gam is wonderful. I think Adam Holcomb is the author. Starlight Jewel by E.L. Lyons. I think it's Lyons. And then I do also greatly enjoy Spark of the Divine by Louise Holland. So I think those would be the three that off the top of my head I would recommend. There's so much more. I'd have to look at my shelf.
I'm actually reading Spark of the Divine right now. It's a really good book.
Ooh.
I enjoy it greatly. I actually got to be the ARC reader for that, so that was fun.
Ariane's always going on about that. I've got it on my Kindle as well. I did sneakily read a few pages and then thought, no, I need to save this one. And yeah.
Yeah, it's good. The Starlight Jewel, I took it with me to go camping, so I had like very little service, so I'd have to sit in a specific spot so I could DM her whenever I reached certain scenes, so she'd get running commentary as I was reading.
All right, and Lorraine.
Well, I've just finished Bella Dunn's arc, Blood and Dreams, which was awesome, from her second book, which was the Dream Thief. Oh my god, my brain. Dream Thief. So she's got 2 books out in that series, and they're just very easy reading. The characters are lovable, and there's a lot of magic and fae stuff, which I hadn't really read a lot of fae things before. So I'm learning a lot of new things through Bella, like kilts as well plays a big part. Of course, I know about kilts, but kilts play a big part in the Dream Sleep in book 1. And it's just been a lot of fun. So the second book's a really, really good read, and I really enjoyed it. And I still need to write that review. Yeah.
I'll get to work. Bella is ready for that review to come through. All right. So people in the chat, hit us up with any final questions that you have before we move on to like our last little bit. Any last questions you have, throw them into the chat here in the next minute or two. Andre says that Eddie Redmayne is Pilt. He accepts no arguments.
Oh, but he might be a bit too old, though. He's a bit too old to play Pilt. Pilt's only
They can
like
do the thing where they de-age them.
Yeah, that's true. He'd be quite cool, actually. Yeah.
What's your favorite food for breakfast other than sausage? It's obviously haggis for Lorraine, but go ahead.
No, I don't eat haggis for breakfast, not normally. Bacon.
Yeah, my dad, he makes a mix of eggs, scrambled eggs, bacon, potatoes, mushrooms. Like he just makes this like thing that he throws a bunch of different things together for breakfast. I think that's probably my favorite that I eat.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be out working and I always forget to eat breakfast, and he'll knock on the door of my little studio with a plate. So
Kylie, in yours, does Greer talk?
No.
Okay.
He does not talk.
Pink? Does he have like his thoughts in it?
No, so like
Okay.
Strider does have a deep connection with Greer, so he can understand like Greer's desires, like what he wants, things like that. There's actually a specific bond that a Dihorvith and their chosen person actually end up having. So while he cannot speak, there's just that level of understanding with one another that transcends like a normal connection with an animal, which is still also pretty deep for most people. So
I think when I was trying to cast your characters, I was like, well, who'd be a good voice actor for like the talking wolf or something like that? So I could see like Jack Black or Kevin Hart or someone like that would be like the perfect voice actor for the snarky talking wolf. But it sounds like that is not the case, which is very sad. It's okay. You don't have to have a
version.
Yeah, he doesn't talk, but he very clearly gets his point across. And there's a line that Strider basically says where can't remember the way it goes, basically to the effect that Greer is deadlier than like half the people in the world, and also he is better than them too at the same time. So,
and let's see, we've got Dave, your student is reading your book. Who has read your books that you were not prepared for comments from? So before you guys answer this question, so I teach high school, and I do have a student who is reading On Voice currently. She's a little bit over halfway through, and she's reading it at school, and she'll come in between classes and be like, Lawson, you better not hurt Corden. I'm in chapter 14 and this just happened. And I'm like, well, and she's like, you better not happen like that. And I'm like, thinking it happens like that. The thing that you're like telling me that it better not happen. It's about what's going to happen. So she's getting very mad at me about the mean things I'm doing to the characters. So for you guys, who is someone who's read your books maybe that you weren't prepared either for their comments or like you were surprised they read the book and had some comments that were interesting or funny or something like that?
Well, I've had a lot of my pub regular buy and read my books, which is really awesome, but it's also daunting because you kind of like Are they going to like it? Go back in and go, oh, what was this about? But yeah, I've had some of my, like, a lot of older people are reading my books as well. Like I've got a book group from the Morningside ladies, and it was like my mother-in-law's friend. So I was invited to a book group last year to talk about it with a bunch of 70-year-old ladies, and they were fantastic and they loved it. So I wasn't expecting to have that kind of age range, and some of them haven't even read fantasy before, so they're really getting into it, so it's great.
Me, I was not expecting my coworkers to discover that I write a book and buy it. So I would be working and I would get commentary from them on where they were at. So that I was definitely not expecting.
My father-in-law also has read the book, and I was at an Airbnb with him and the rest of my wife's family for my sister-in-law's wedding, and he was reading the book, and he'd ask me, he'd look at me and he'd ask a question like, "Why is she doing this in this chapter, Dave?" I'd be like, "I don't know if I'm being criticized or not." It's scary. But that was at the end. He was like, "I finished the book." And that's all I ever heard from him. I don't know. He could have hated it more than life itself, but he finished the book. That's all he said. So Andres asked, if your main characters were drinks or booze, what would they be? This is Lorraine's favorite question because she can just look at her back shelf.
Whiskey. All of my characters are all those bottles. There's a different kind of whiskey in each of them.
Strider is pretty dry. I'm not very familiar with alcohol, so something that probably has more of a dry flavor to it and plain.
A dry wine.
Probably.
Jen is definitely a sweet winter plum wine. Because it's her favorite thing in the history of the world. And Corden would be like a really, really, really fancy, expensive scotch because he thinks he's a big deal. And then Vivian says she loves that you have a group from your pub that enjoy your books.
Yeah, it's good fun.
She also knows that Palomina would be absinthe. I actually don't know who she's saying there. I just said Palomina.
or
who would be absinthe, Vivian? Tell us in the chat. Yes, Vivian, that's all that my father-in-law said. He hates
I mean, to be fair, my mom came to me and said that my book is a very sad book, but she still liked it. So,
well, my dad said, "Dave, why don't you just set this in England and have it be like historically accurate?" Well, because it's a fantasy novel. I was like, but I read it and I think of England. So why don't you just have it in England and then everyone will know where everything is?
Well, you could have gone that route. I don't know if I would want to write a historical fiction.
My dad is a historian. He is he's been a history professor for the last 40-something years. So that's his thing.
I do have a degree in history, but I still don't think I would want to write a historical fiction.
That would be
historical fiction is great. Some of my favorite books are historical fiction, but I don't want to do all the research.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my thing. I don't have time to write and do research as well. It's just, I like just making things up.
Yeah. On another interview, I just said that I would never write a book that's in our world because I would have to research. And if I got something wrong in that city, all the locals are going to be like, yeah, she's never stepped foot here. Yeah. Just like, there's no way I could do it.
I did read something once. Somebody had they'd asked for a critique and they'd written something based in Scotland and they were asking about the language. is this how Scottish people talk? And I had to write back and go, no, we don't say "ochai the new" every second, line. It was really, it was cringe. It was so cringe. And I felt really mean doing that, but yeah.
Lorraine can attest that in the Scribes chat, sometimes I write to her in Scottish, and it's like it's her normal speech, like every day. It's what she writes like. It's what she talks like. There's a Scottish translator on Google where you can write something in English and it will translate it into Scottish thing. And basically, that's just Lorraine's life right there.
I do say things that are really Scottish, and I like just sayings that your granny used to say to you, and they just come out with it. And people are like, what? I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was Scottish. I had to Google it. Scottish.
Yeah.
Lorraine actually calls everybody lassie. It doesn't even matter.
No,
She's like, oh, call it lassie. Everyone she sees.
Liar.
She also only eats fish and chips and haggis. A chippy and
To be fair, I only eat fish and chips in work. I do eat a lot of fish and chips.
So I think, let's see, one more question. Somebody in the chat, who wants to be our last question?
Silence.
We're all thinking.
I'm going to bed. Well, actually, all the UK law.
It's 5:11. Why am I going to bed?
Oh, 11 past 11 for me. Oh my God.
Very honest.
Oh no.
I've got
a lot of food talk today.
Oh, chocolate.
For me, ice cream.
Chocolate cake. Big wedges of chocolate cake.
The sausage question. That is true. It is the ultimate question. I guess sausage fingers is my guilty food pleasure. I'm gluten free. I have celiac disease, so like I can't eat gluten. So I can't answer. I can't say something gluten because that would be a guilty pleasure, but I'd be sick, and we're not going to do that. But I would say I absolutely love I love Mexican food. And so my guilty pleasure would probably be and I also try to watch my carbs. So really heavy carby Mexican food would be my guilty pleasure. And it sounds amazing. I need it.
I am now very hungry.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a good question.
Strider would be the girl. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you go.
Strider would be the grandpa that probably beat the computer because it was annoying.
I was going to say, mine Criteria would throw the phone if he was on social media. He'd be just throwing the phone. Like he would not be having it.
Yeah, I just imagining Strider on social media. He'd take one look at that and just be like, idiots, and leave. Just go do something in the mountain instead.
I think
Addie would be a socialite. That's just it. She'd just be a socialite. She would probably be an influencer, honestly.
Yeah.
Jen would just post pictures of animals and her sword and probably models. And then Corden would be an influencer. He'd be posting pictures of himself and recording videos and trying to be a influencer that just he needs the attention at all times.
Yes, Strider has no time for nonsense.
I feel Greer, if he was on famous.
Oh yeah, Greer would unknowingly end up having a cult following. He would just be a cult of Greer.
Yeah, he'd have his own YouTube channel.
Yes.
His own TikTok.
And Snickers she wants.
So Jen would not reign Instagram because Jen probably wouldn't take good photos. It would just be she's walking down the street and sees a dog and is she's like, this wine was really good. This dog was really cute or something. not the like A+ content that have to have on Instagram to actually be good.
I'd quite like to do if you had a Silver and Bolivar account for the shore house, and put like all their foods and things, like, oh look, you can have a beef stew today in the shore house. That would be quite good fun, because I do that for my work, but it's not bean stew. I do the social media for my fun.
Which one of us is Vivian saying has a horse face? Spill the beans, Vivian.
What's that from?
I assume she's talking about the horse face on the hunter.
Oh,
Maybe, I guess whenever I don't have the hat on and I'm bald. Sorry, guys. Might want sunglasses on for the glare. Oh, Jen taking pictures of animals. Yeah, I like that horse's face. She would be. I just thought you were telling me I had a horse face, Vivian. And I was like, I haven't heard that one before. Heard other things, but I haven't heard that one.
Oh, goodness.
All right, so I think we're probably going to end with one last chance for you guys to tell everybody out there about your books. Palomina she'd be one of those Insta models, because she's good looking.
She's a sexy lady after all.
Vivian, I'm not mean, for goodness sake. I know, Vivian. All right. So Lorraine, go ahead and give us your pitch. Tell us about your books. Tell us where we can find your books.
Okay, so at the moment I am selling my books on Amazon, and they're in Kindle Unlimited. I'm still a bit too scared to kind of go further and learn about other things, because I'm getting on a bit and I'm not tech savvy, and probably will need lots of advice down the line from the Secret Scribes on how to use Ingram Sparks and all those other things. Yep, Dave.
I'm basically your tech support at this point.
How does this work? How does that work? That's really annoying me. How does this work? So getting them on Amazon was a total feat. And you can get them on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited. And I'd like you to all pick them up, because book 3 will be coming out, and it just give me the motivation to keep going. So lots of reviews.
3 of 47.
Yes. No.
All right, and Kylie.
You can find The Hunter on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Oops, there's going out of view. Yes, The Hunter. You can find it on Kindle, all sorts of places. Honestly, it's all over. If you go to like my Twitter account, I think it's Aagard Kylie. There's a link tree where you can like literally click on it, and you can find anywhere that you would prefer to buy the book from. If you don't want to do Amazon, it's on Apple, all sorts of places.
So I need to do all that. You're far ahead of me.
But yours is not on Kindle Unlimited, right, Kylie?
No, it's not Kindle Unlimited, but it is on Kindle. You can buy it. For April, its birthday, it will be dropping down to like 99 cents. So keep an eye out for that.
When is your birthday in April?
The book birthday in April is
your birthday, because like my birthday.
My birthday is also in April, so I'm just like, I don't know. It's like I think I released the book like April 16th, so it was like 3 days before my birthday or something. So I'm just like, yeah, this was smart.
I was going to try to release my novella on my birthday, which is April 29th, but it wasn't going to be ready yet, so I moved it back. Mm-hmm. You can order the special edition box of The Hunter that comes with a googly eye copy still.
Yes. Yeah, I ordered a last shipment in January, and when it arrived, like the majority of them were damaged, so I had to order a new one. So those will be coming back again. The googly eye, I have paperback, and then I have the hardcover, and it's got the special art under the dust jacket as well. So Actually, this is the language on here is actually Tarvin, and it's the Hunter of Far Elden, and it's just mirrored on either side. So yeah, it's one of my written languages in the books that you guys probably will never see, but it's on the cover. But yeah, those will be available on my website. That's the only place you will find them. And once they actually are out of stock, I won't be restocking them ever again. So
exclusive here, right? Now.
Yes, yes. And now you can actually also opt to have Nico sign them. So you can get a little Nico paw print on it. So as well.
And then I have my book, The Envoys of War. And you can buy it's on Amazon for ebook. It's Kindle Unlimited and Amazon. And then you can buy the paperback and hardcover at all the different places. I also sell them on my website where you can get them signed and the fanciness, like, signed copies, swag, all those things. And then I do have the Mustaches of War
yes,
cover, which
I have it.
Meralda the Sword has a mustache. Corden and Jen have mustaches. The A has a mustache. In the back, there is another mustache.
Yes.
And it comes with several other funny mustache-related quips on, like, the card and things like that. And I also mustache stickers, and just I went really all the way on the mustache thing. Those are a limited edition. I'm only selling 20 of them, and they're signed and numbered, and then I'm done, and I'm not printing them again. I think I have I sold 11, so I've got nine more available in the world.
I think I got number 2. I'm pretty sure. Yes, I did. I got number 2.
Right, Vivian, I've got 9 more left in the world on my website.
So yeah, I don't have any hardbacks yet, but I think once I've got the 3 books out, I might do a special hardback or combination or something with the first 3 books, like an exclusive-y thing. I'm not sure.
That'd be cool.
It means planning, though. Planning things.
I think I sold 1 hardback on Amazon and no hardbacks on, like, Ingram, but I've sold like 45 hardbacks from my website.
That's cool.
And it's just like most of the people who want like a hardcover copy want like the signed hardcover.
Yeah.
And so like I've sold a lot of them, but they've all been from the website. I think I've sold 1 on Amazon. So like they're great for that kind of thing.
Yeah, I need to like get some support, Dave, on working that kind of stuff out.
I will set up your website sales for you so that you can start doing that. At one point Lorraine said, I don't know, it'd be kind of hard to get to the post office.
It's like, actually, it is. I mean, it took me ages. Like when those people won the Secret Scribes competition, I think I was about the last one to post everything out because I was just like, how did I do this?
I technically have not posted one of mine yet.
Because,
our ultimate winner, she already has a copy of Envoys. So I talked to her and was like, how would you like a copy of Pawns when it comes out in May, since you already have Envoys? And she was like, absolutely, that's great. So she's going to get a copy of the novella when it comes out here. So like, I haven't shipped her anything. She already
I'm not last.
Christopher needs hardbacks, Lorraine.
Oh,
so get to work on
I will endeavor to think about it.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming and joining in. Please go support these amazing authors, Kylie and Lorraine, and indie authors in general. We really love just like when people read our books, and also when they talk to us about them, message us, tell us like the things that they're really enjoying, their favorite characters, which characters should absolutely die, Queen Velardis. And then, we love to interact. It's amazing. And we love all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here and supporting us. Also, go support Kylie's cats.
Yes.
And everybody in the chat, I think we know, do support us a lot. So we really do appreciate it.
Yes.
A lot
You guys
of,
are our lifeblood.
yeah.
Oh,
Is it
a
like
sword
there are
and a
ride
knife.
and dies, as they say?
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. What we're going to do, as Mike Molman would say, we are going to wave awkwardly to the camera while the stream ends. Thank you, everybody.
See you.